Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafah. Wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa, amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna Allaha ya'muru bil 'adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi ya'idhukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Jazakullahu Khairun. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as our creator and the supreme being of this entire universe, He's created us for a certain purpose. And we are not able to ascertain and realize that objective and that purpose just by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without sending certain messengers. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, He could have sent the message to us without messengers. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used messengers and prophets in order to convey the message and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with to us. You'll find, for example, even a father and a child. A child will not be able to understand and even know what pleases the father unless the father actually tells them, unless the child sees what the father likes. But sometimes the child doesn't even know, okay, what is the favorite food of my father? What does my father prefer? Right? What will make my father happy? A child sometimes won't be able to tell. Hence, us human beings, we're not able to understand with our aql, with our intellect, and rationally, completely what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us and what will make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleased and happy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent messengers. And all these messengers had two common things which they would convey to the people, is what you call awamir, the commands, and the prohibitions, the nawahi. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Nahl that وَيَوْمَ نَبْعَثُ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدًا وَيَوْمَ نَبْعَثُ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدًا عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَجِئْنَا بِكَ شَهِيدًا عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that on the Day of Judgment, when we will resurrect every witness for a nation, there will be witness for every nation that will be resurrected, which are the prophets. And we will make you as a witness for your own nation also. وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً وَبُشْرَى لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ. And we reveal to you the book as a means of clarification and a source of guidance and mercy and glad tidings for the believers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that He's revealed the Quran to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for a few objectives, as a source of guidance, as a source of mercy and glad tidings for the believers. Now, we won't be able to find every single juz'i mas'ala, every single meticulous matter that's mentioned in the Quran that will be pertaining to our lives and the solutions to our lives. But rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He's given basic awamir, basic nawahi, basic commands and prohibitions by which you can derive the solutions to your specific problems. And this one specific ayah which we hear numerous times week after week, which is in Surah Nahl, Inna Allah ya'mur bil 'adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba ila akhir, till the end of the ayah. We hear it week after week, but do we know the meaning of it? Do we know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in this ayah? So this ayah, Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, as well as additional tabi'un and Salaf al-Salihin have mentioned that this, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to not reveal any other ayah to clarify the Quran other than this ayah, it would have sufficed. Meaning this ayah that we hear week after week in Jumu'ah, which is in Surah Nahl, Inna Allah ya'muru bil 'adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'idhukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving 3 commandments here and 3 prohibitions. Because majority of things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses us with, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's khitab towards us, it revolves around prohibitions and commandments to do certain things. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarized all of that into these three principles for commandments and for prohibitions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses all of the believers that inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsani wa ita. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off with commands because majority of our deen revolves around commandments to do. There's a few things, if you were to actually see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made prohibited in our deen. If you look at majority of the foods, for instance, especially in this day and age which we currently live in, majority foods are halal for us to eat. You have few foods which are impermissible due to certain ingredients or the derivatives and it might be derived from a impermissible source. But majority of what we have is permissible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a choice to marry whoever we want. Only few individuals are impermissible to marry. You look at the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal for us, they are more in comparison to those things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited for us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts off with the commands that inna Allah ya'muru bil adl. Now what is considered as adl? Some may translate as justice, some may translate as being moderate. In one of the tafasir, in Allama Alusi rahimahullah, in Ruh al-Ma'ani, how is he translated adl? Is ibaratun an tawassuti. It's expressed of a person being moderate. Bain tarafayit ifrat wa tafrit. That a person is moderate between the two extremes. That he's not exceeding the bounds, nor is he deficient in fulfilling the rights. And the rights of who? Rights of everyone. Moderate in every single way, being just in every single way. Now if you look in our deen, we have different types of actions in our deen. Some actions are pertain to the heart. Some a'mal pertain to the heart, which is what we consider as our aqa'id, as our belief. Our belief in accordance to Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, we're in between all the other different factions and sects that came about. We don't just go based off our intellect and rational. But at the same time, we don't go to the other extreme end where we're basing off every single thing that we do based off of our emotions. We're in between. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to use our aql. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to use and think and ponder and reflect. But at the same time, your emotions play a role also. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not negate one's emotions. He himself exhibited his emotions. Those feelings that you might feel in the salah, it helps you, motivates you to pray more salah. The feelings that you feel when reciting Quran, it motivates you to recite more Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created our deen adala in what? In our aqeedah. We don't believe that we're forced to do every single one of our actions, but at the same time we don't believe in complete free will. But rather we believe in something called qasb, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's divine assistance is linked whenever we try to do an action. So when it comes with our aqeedah, we're moderate, we have adl in that. When it comes with our own a'mal, regarding our limbs, our jawarih, there's adala there also. When it comes with our akhlaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ وَلَا تَجْعَلْ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ فَتَقْعُدَ مَلُومًا مَحْسُورًا. That you're not completely stingy, and at the same time you're spending extravagantly. You don't literal meaning that you don't have your hand tied to your neck. What does that mean? You're not spending. You're completely stingy. وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ. Nor are you opening up to everyone. That at the end you run out of your money and then you start blaming others and your own self and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have adala when it comes with your own akhlaq. When it comes with one's anger, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say to erase your anger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ, those that suppress their anger. Because as it comes in a hadith, you will find even Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what were signs when he would get angry? That he have a nerve, the temple here, that would become red. It would bulge out. when he became angry. But what was the reason why he became angry? It was for Shari reasons, when the Sharia was being broken. The Shari laws were being broken. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself implicated and demonstrated the meaning of adl. When one Sahabiya, she happened to steal, and the tribe members, the Sahabiya came to Usama bin Zayd radiyallahu anhu, asking him to be a shafi', asking him to be intercessor, and talk to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam because he was the beloved of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and hope that he would not implement the Islamic punishment upon her. And when Usama bin Zayd radiallahu anh came to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam became upset, and he did not release his anger upon Usama bin Zayd radiallahu anhu, but rather he addressed the entire public. That what is it with some people that they may come and they try to seek, intercession on behalf of a crime which is committed that requires the punishment to be implemented. And the previous ummah, the previous nations, they would punish the poor and leave the rich out. If someone that had some prestige and status and honor in society, they would leave them out if they committed a crime. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was equal with everyone. No one was above Sharia law. Right. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed, Inna Allah ya'mur bil adl wal ihsani. Then adl, that's being moderate in every aspect of our life, whether in our akhlaq, whether in our own actions, right? We don't just suffice upon the fara'id, but you want to do the sunnah mu'akkadat, you want to do the mustahabbat. At the same time, you don't just suffice upon the mustahabbat, but you do the fara'id and the wajibat also. Then beyond that, what is considered ihsan? Right? We hear the definition of ihsan in numerous occasions, in numerous talks. أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. Right? You're worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you see Him. If you're not able to achieve that level, then know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always watching over you. And you have that fikr, and you have that concern and that mindset. So you're not just sufficing upon the bare minimum, but you're going beyond that. In every single action that you do, you have ihsan in that. And rather than just coming to the masjid, you'll come early. Rather than just staying in the back saf, you'll come to the first saf. Rather than just sufficing upon our bare fara'id and wajibat and sunnah mu'akkadat, you'll perform the nawafil salat. Rather than just giving a bare amount of sadaqah, a meager amount, rather you'll spend from those things. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will spend from those things which you love. You'll go beyond that. Because you have ihsan in that. And ihsan with who? Not just with your own self, but ihsan with others. Ihsan with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ihsan in the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ihsan with the creation, in your mu'amalat, in your mu'asharat, in your akhlaq. So this encompasses all of our deen when we're dealing with others. Then inna Allah ya'muru bil adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions something specific here, that amongst all of your relatives, right, those that have more of a right upon you are your aqarib, your maharim, your mother, right, your father, your uncle, brother, sister, etc. That wa ita'i dhil qurba, what are you giving them? Some ulama mufassirun mention here, mal is meant. Some say you keep it general, that you're fulfilling their rights. You're fulfilling their rights, whatever their rights are. You're not severing ties from them. If they need some assistance, you're there and you're willing to assist them. Maintaining that family relation, that family ties. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't just suffice upon the commandments, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the prohibitions also. وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنْكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ. Some mufassirun translate fahsha as zina and fornication. Others have kept it general, that those sins, major sins. Others have kept it even broader than that those sins which are pertinent to one's own shahawat, with one's own desires, which the person has. Fahsha, all obscene things. وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ. Now how do you know what fahsha and obscene things are? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam defined them. We find them how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what was his reaction, right? That it comes in seerah, that the description of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he was not fahish, nor was he mutafahish. He himself did not like obscenity, nor was he obscene himself. Whenever he disliked something, you can tell the dislikeness on his face. Anytime if a Sahabi did a certain action, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would not remain quiet. If that action was not in accordance to Sharia, he would speak out and say that was wrong. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam himself prohibited from all types of fahsha, obscene acts, whether it be when it comes to how we speak, right? You look at how keen Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was when it came with his own speech, that whenever, if you look at certain ahadith, certain things which might be considered, they might not be necessarily, you would say, explicit, but some things that might have haya in it. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had haya, how he used to speak. As it comes in hadith, when a person wakes up, إِذَا اسْتَيْقَظَ أَحَدُكُمْ مِنْ نَوْمِهِ فَلَا يَغْسِلُ يَدَيْهِ حَتَّى. It comes in a hadith that a person should not dip their hands inside a container of water until they wash their hand first. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي أَيْنَ بَاتَتْ يَدُهُ. He doesn't know, literal meaning is he doesn't know where his hand slept in the night. What does that mean? You don't know where your hand touched in different places. So if you had any najasa at that time, they didn't have complete clean water to always clean themselves. They would use sometimes dirt, clods, and clays to clean themselves. So sometimes there might be a little bit of najasa left. So when it's hot, obviously, then sometimes you sweat, and if at the time when you're sleeping, you don't know where your hand is. So if you had any amount of najasa and your hand touched that, and you put it in the water, then what happens? The water becomes najis also, it becomes impure. But however, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what did he say? فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَدْرِي أَيْنَ بَاتَتْ يَدُهُ. He doesn't know where his hand literally slept in the night. He didn't mention it explicitly. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he came with even his own speech, he had haya. When we talk also, we should be talking how certain classes and certain people, how they speak and how they have vulgar language. But rather speak in a dignified manner. That how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how the Sahaba spoke, how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spoke. Then wal munkar. Munkar is considered. Munkar is some nakira yankar. You don't recognize it, and it's something that you have a dislike and you're averse towards it, which encompasses all minor sins also here. And how do you decide something to be munkar? That is decided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by not our own fitrah, not by our own nature. Because our own nature is becoming completely, is digressing from the original fitrah and the original nature, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a human being now. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned that وَالْإِثُمْ مَا حَاكَ فِي صَدْرِكَ وَكَرِهْتَ أَنْ يَطَّلِعَ عَلَيْهِ النَّاسِ. What is the actual sin? A sign to know that that is a sin is that when you commit it, or if you were to commit it, it's something that will cause you remorse. It causes it scratches your heart. وَالْإِثُمْ مَا حَاكَ فِي صَدْرِكَ. It scratches your heart, you get remorse. You feel regret over it. وَكَرِهْتَ أَنْ يَطَّلِعَ عَلَيْهِ النَّاسِ. And you dislike that if someone were to come to know about it, then you would feel ashamed. But now when you commit sin, rather than that, what do? You're boasting and bragging about it, and openly telling your friends and your companions. Whereas when a person commits a sin, it's between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You hide it, you conceal it, you do tawbah. You don't need to be bragging about it. And wal baghi. Third thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited. Baghi, some ulama translate it as oppression. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned that ma min dhanbin ajdaru. There is no sin that is more suitable. And yu'ajjil Allahu al-uqubata li sahibihi. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should hasten the punishment for that sin, for that individual who commits it. فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعَ مَا يَدَّخِرُ لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. Within the dunya, despite what is preserved for him in the akhirah because of that sin. مِنَ الْبَغِي وَقَطِيعَةِ الرَّحِمِ. أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Then being oppressive, baghawa, and severing one's ties with your own relatives. Oppression doesn't have to be just physical oppression. It could be verbal oppression. It could be certain ideology that we're spreading against others. And this is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prohibited numerous places in the Quran, not to cause any fasad in the lands. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Why is there havoc? Why is there chaos we see around us? Because of our own sins. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very keen that to the extent it comes in a hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept even the dua of the madloom, the person that is oppressed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept that person's dua immediately. So you have to be very careful that even when it comes with our own mu'amalat, our dealings with others, be it family or others, we're not oppressing them in the least amount. What is the meaning of oppression? وَضُ شَيْءٍ فِي غَيْرِ مَحَلِّهِ. You're placing something in a place where it doesn't belong. It could be something major, it could be minor. But remember, when it comes with dhulm, it's with mu'amalat, huquq al-ibad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't forgive you until you seek forgiveness from the other individual. يَعِذُكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is admonishing and advising you so that you can take heed. So these are the principles Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in the Quran. That these are three main commandments. From all of these, you can get all the furu'at. All the meticulous different scenarios and situations that may come about, they'll fall into one of these categories. When it comes with sins, and it comes with doing good deeds. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a tawfiq to implement whatever has been said. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Inshallah, all the brothers are requested to stand up and fill in the sufuf. We'll pray our sunnah first, inshallah. There's a few announcements, inshallah. Please stand up and move forward. Do not leave gaps. It makes space for others. Please pass the donation boxes from left to right and donate generously. Sadaqah wards off calamities and draws the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, charity given during the day of Jumu'ah is greater reward than any other day. His narration in Musannif Abdul Razak. Join us on October 31st, Monday, for Youth Night, open to ages 5 to 16. Bring your kids to the masjid for fun activities and refreshments from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Registration for our annual Sirah conference is now open November 11th and the 12th. RSVP now at masjidds.org/Sirah conference. Help us reach our goal of 25 million salawat. For more info, you can go to masjidds.org/salawat. Weekly program, Saturday Team Fajr will continue tomorrow. Fajr al-Iqamah will be at 6:15 a.m. Bukhari Das continues on Mondays after Isha Salah. All brothers and sisters are encouraged to join and invite their friends and families. Tuesday's tafsir program after Isha. This Tuesday will be continuing with Surah Anbiya. Be sure to join us with their friends and family. Weekly salawat gathering on Thursdays after Isha is continuing. There's a few requests for du'as. Request for du'a maghfirah for Anwar Basha, the father of Liaqat Ali, one of our own musallis here. Dua for Shifa for brother Sayyid Fasahat Ali. He is having open heart surgery on Tuesday. May Allah SWT make it easy and give him a swift recovery, inshallah. Also, there's a request for a dua from one of our beloved teachers here, that his uncle and grandmother are going through operations soon, inshallah, one for quadruple bypass and the other to remove a brain tumor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this the operation successful and grant them complete shifa afterwards, as well as all the Muslims that are suffering through any pain and going through any sicknesses. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them shifa and make that means of sickness a source of expiation of their sins.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما من ذنب أجدر أن يعجل الله لصاحبه العقوبة في الدنيا مع ما يدخر له في الآخرة من البغي وقطيعة الرحم أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بآيات والذكر الحكيم. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله تعالى أعلى وأولى وعز وجل وتم وهم وأكبر. أقيموا الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
So صفوفكم واعتدلوا. Please ensure the rows are straight. No gaps in between, shoulder to shoulder. Heels on the line. Please put our phones on silent or on vibration, inshallah. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.